So another use of self-perception theory is understanding or analyzing your mindset. If you're still uncertain or unsure of your mindset as of now, you can also observe the consistent patterns of your behavior or thinking. When you say mindset kasi, we're talking about here how you perceive your sets of qualities such as your skills and abilities in terms of are they fixed or are they capable of growing. Mindset kasi has many forms. But at this point, I'll be discussing only two, fixed mindset and growth mindset. When you say fixed mindset, you believe that your certain sets of qualities are not capable of changing, meaning to say they are fixed, they are stagnant already at some point. When you say growth mindset, you believe that your sets of qualities are capable of changing, growing, improving, or can be cultivated by means of learning. So simple as this, fix cannot change, growth can be changed. So to better analyze this, I don't know if you recall the story of the hare and the tortoise o si Pagong at si Conejo. So how does this story goes? The hare has this belief that no matter what happened, it will going to win any race because of its ability. And knowing that the tortoise is its opponent at this point, definitely he believed that it has the 100% chance of winning. Kaya nga what did it do during the middle of the race? It slept, diba? The tortoise naman or the pagong, despite of the disposition of carrying a heavy shell on its back, it believed that it has a chance of winning the race. Because of that, it doubled its effort, worked harder, run harder just to win the race. So what happened eventually? During the finish, the hare woke up and noticed that the tortoise was already on the finish line. So what's the moral of the story in terms of the mindset? The hare definitely has a fixed mindset that no matter what happened, it believed that it would win the race regardless of the opponent. But knowing the opponent was the tortoise, so definitely tumaas palalo yung expectation niya na mananalo siya. Diba? In terms of the tortoise, okay, the tortoise believed that despite of having a shell on its back, it can change it. It can change whatever situation he have, diba? Work double, work, give more effort just to win the race. So definitely the tortoise has a growth mindset. Growth mindset kasi since you believe that you are capable of improving, changing, it believe more of your effort, your persistence in applying that changes or just attain that improvement. So if you're confused as of this point, what kind of mindset do you have? Again, you can observe it on your behavior. Are you more of fixed or are you more of a growth mindset? Diba? Kasi let's say if you have a fixed mindset, definitely there are certain characteristic or patterns of behavior that you would normally do every day. For example, you're afraid of taking risks. Diba? You are always on your comfort zone because you're afraid of change. Diba? You see criticism as more of a threat, and you could see people better than you, diba? More successful than you also as a threat. You tend to blame others for your mistakes or your failures, diba? Compared to someone with a growth mindset, definitely they are risk takers. They love adventure. So at some point, they consider criticism as more of a constructive one and a complementary one to them. They see successful people or successful or better persons than them as what? As an inspiration, as an influence rather than a threat. If and then definitely they don't blame others for their mistakes, diba? Because they are open for change. These people are open-minded compared to fixed mindset, they are close-minded in some sense. Kaya nga, if you're going to check your patterns of thoughts, your patterns of behavior, are you more of a fix or are you more of a growth? But let me give you some hope. If you are a fixed mindset as of now, definitely there is capability of change. It's not totally fixed naman. Kaya I'm emphasizing to at some point. Diba? As of now, if you are really reflecting that you believe that you are stagnant, that you are like that, diba? Kaya nga, we have a saying that if you were born poor, definitely you have a choice not to die as one. Diba? If you are born angry, you have a choice not to die as angry. Definitely, at some point of your life, you can still change, but definitely, it's still a matter of a responsible choice. You still must have the will, not just consistency, but persistency to have to change for yourself. Diba? You are not stagnant at some point. Always remember that. You are not fixed. Until and unless siguro you are now aware that there is a tendency for you to have a change in yourself. So that is self-perception again. If you're unsure or unaware of what is your thoughts and feelings as of this moment, observe them by your behaviors, by your thinking, by your patterns of thinking. Again, consistent. Yung consistent. Kasi somehow, it is verifiable if it is the consistent one. Kaya again, for example, let's say, you are not sure why are you feeling sad most of the time. Observe your behavior, consistent behavior and thinking patterns. Anong madalas mong iniisip? Anong madalas mong ginagawa? Because what these are could rise. Why are you feeling sad most of the time? Diba? Let's say, every day are you still thinking about the person that broke your heart every day? Kaya siguro kaya ka malungkot most of the day because you're still thinking of it. Okay? Kaya siguro may regrets, may guilt feeling kasi madalas mo pa siyang iniisip. Diba? Or are you every day avoiding people, isolating important people in your life because you cannot forgive them, diba? In a sense, or you have problems with them in a sense, kaya siguro you are sad. Observe first. Observe your behavior. We are good naman in judging or making inferences about other people. So why not apply this to ourselves if we are confused as of now? Why we have these thoughts and feelings? So that is self-perception. So the second thing that I'm going to discuss is the last part of self-knowledge in terms of understanding yourself by means of other people. So you have two ways somehow to understand yourself by means of other people. By means of comparing yourself to others and by using the view of others about you. So let's start with the first. If you are, let's say, again, unsure or uncertain how to measure your abilities or skills, the best way to test them or to measure them is how do they stack against other people. So meaning to say, how do they compare to other people? So let's say, example, what do I mean? Let's say you are, let's say as for the crisis, let's say many are donating and many are somehow to say they are generous. Okay, so how are we going to test that you are generous? Let's say you are about to donate 10,000 pesos to a certain foundation to help those who are victims or frontliners of the COVID-19. Diba? So, how could you assure to yourself that you are generous to a point that you could be proud of the 10,000 that you have donated to the foundation or to a charity? One way to do it is to compare it to another one. Let's say you have a friend that also donated to the same foundation and only donated, let's say, 5,000 pesos. Definitely you can make already comparison. You could already say, mas generous ako sa kanya. I have more heart for helping these people because of the amount na mas malaki yung binigay ko. Or you could say that also, mas mayaman ako sa kanya. Mas nakakalawag ako sa kanya. 'Di ba? Mas may kaya ako sa kanya kasi mas malaki yung binigay ko. There's already comparison there. Or what if, let's say, the friend of yours donated on the same foundation but give more money compared to you. Let's say, nagbigay siya ng $100,000 peso do sa foundation. Definitely, there's also a comparison. You could say that that person is more generous than me. Mas mayaman siya, mas nakakaluwag siya, mas may puso siya sa pagtulong kasi mas malaki yung binigay niya. Something like that, diba? Kaya nga, that example is a best way to explain social comparison theory in social psychology. When you say social comparison theory kasi, you compare your certain sets of qualities you have to other people, diba? If you are unsure or if you want to measure them, diba? Kaya nga, the question is now, who do we tend to compare ourselves? Saan ba dapat ikumpara ang sarili natin? Kanino ba dapat, diba? The best way or the most accurate way somehow to really say that you are like this or you have something like this in terms of yourself is you have to compare this or you have to compare yourself to people on the same or with a similar situation than you, with you, diba? Kasi if you tend to compare it with someone with different situation, it will be already biased. So for example, let's say, if I want to be sure if I am good in teaching or if I am a good professor, it is more accurate if I would compare myself to those who are teaching in the College of Arts and Sciences in CMU rather than comparing myself to professors teaching psychology, diba? Or teaching under college and sciences, College of Arts and Sciences in other universities. I would rather compare myself within CMU. Why? Because because my co-professor there, we have similar situations, diba? We cater students within CMU, diba? And at the same time, I could really be assured or accurate with my comparison because I could observe them directly. I could see their performance directly, diba? I could appraise them directly. I would compare myself to other schools or other university which I don't have direct access. Diba? Mas mahirapan ako. The result would be less accurate. For example, with your student, let's say you want to test your intelligence. As of now, it will be best to compare yourself to your current classmate as of this moment. Because you have similar situation, you have the same professor, you have the same subject, and you can directly observe them, and you can directly observe yourself. Kaya nga, if you're gonna compare yourself with other people, make sure it's a similar situation. Kasi doon nagkakaiba yung ibang tao eh. You tend to compare yourselves to other people with different situation. Malamang sa malamang, magkakaiba din kayo ng results. Magkakaiba kayo ng perception about sa sarili. You always remember this. Different situation, definitely different perception about the self. Okay? Always remember that. If you would compare kasi your intelligence as of now, then you're gonna compare it with your siblings at home. Iba ka lalabasan ng resulta. Siyempre, mas lalabas na matalino ka. But if you compare it within the school, within your classmate at this point, definitely it would be more accurate. We tend to compare ourselves kasi in two different directions. It's either you do upward social comparison or you do downward social comparison. When you say upward social comparison, you compare yourselves to someone who is better than you. Diba? If you really want to be the best of the best or to be best among the best, you have to compare yourself to someone who is better than you. Diba? Because it's more challenging. It's more inspiring or motivating to do that in oneself. Diba? Pero the tendency kasi if you don't reach the level that they have on some specific period, it could be depressing to at some point. It could be dispiriting. It could lead to feelings of inferiority if hindi mo siya ma-reach. Pero it's somehow a good thing talaga to have a comparison someone who is better than you to motivate you to at some point. When we say naman downward social comparison, we're talking about here comparing yourselves to someone who is worse than you. Diba? If you want to have a boost on ego, if you want to be seen as someone better, you can do downward you can do downward social comparison kasi you're comparing it to someone worse than you. Diba? Yeah, it's better to do upward based on research talaga. It's better to do upward comparison if you have the guts for it eh. Kung kakayanin mo talaga ikumpara yung sarili mo sa mas magaling pa sa'yo. That somehow you could be at the same level or you could be above them. Kasi somehow, if you stick with someone lower than you, syempre, the thinking already is what? Parang fixed ka na, diba? You already have the fixed mindset. Okay na ako. Wala na, mas gagaling pa sa akin. Nandito na ako. There's always room for improvement, kumbaga. Pero someone, they say kasi, downward social comparison can be used more reflectively. If you compare your present self to your past self, as someone we could say that our past is worse and our current is better. Kung ganon ang sitwasyon, diba? You can do that eh. Diba? If you could see that your past was worse and you could say right now that you are improving, definitely it motivates you to continue improving. Diba? But the thing is kasi with social comparison is that you don't just use this on the immediate people around you or the immediate people around you with similar situation. We also do social comparison in terms of social media sites, social networking sites or SNS, diba? Let's say Facebook, Twitter, diba, Instagram, something like that. In terms of somehow it's indirect, pero there's always comparison of us with that. We have a digital life, we have a digital self to at some point. Then within that life, you also make social comparison. For example, on Facebook, let's admit it, whatever's in Facebook is still biased. Kasi everything is posted in Facebook about a person, it's all positive. It's all good. It's all about happiness, contentment, diba? Then if majority of that is what you see on Facebook, there's an upward social comparison rather than a downward. Kasi if you would utter to yourself, ay ang swerte naman niya, diba? Nakakaingit naman siya, diba? Kasi you perceive that person who posted something good on Facebook, definitely you could say that mas maganda yung buhay niya sa'yo. Na kaya you become jealous, you become insecure, you become insecure to at some point. So definitely that's a downward. But if someone on Facebook posted something that is embarrassing, humiliating, diba? Well, there's a little chance naman may makita ka sa Facebook na ganon. definitely there would be a downward comparison, di ba? You would say, swerte pa tayo sa buhay natin. We're still blessed about our life, di ba? Compare sa kanya. So you're thinking that you're more better than that person who posted something embarrassing, who posted a mistake on Facebook. So that's social comparison. Okay? So again, when you say social comparison, to say or to prove we have these sets of qualities talaga, to test them or to say that we really have them, to measure them, is we can compare them to others. If we have, if you are unsure of our intelligence, our personalities, our skills and abilities, we can compare them to other people. The next one naman, in terms of understanding ourselves, in terms of others, is in terms of how people view us. According to a sociologist by Charles Cooley, in what he developed, the looking glass self theory, he states that individuals have the tendency to 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 be influenced by how people view them. Kaya nga, it's looking glass self, meaning to say, somehow, it goes with the saying, tell me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. Because at this point, who your friends are reflect like a mirror, looking glass, like a glass, reflects who you are. What does it mean? Because of our daily or everyday interaction, socialization with other people, we tend to what? We tend to receive certain judgments, certain labels, attributions about ourselves. Diba? Kaya nga may tendency talaga minsan may magsasabi na mas kilala ka pa ng ibang tao kumpara sa sarili mo. And to that point, there's also a tendency for that we could adopt those views, those perception about us, those values, beliefs about us within ourselves. And that is what you call social tuning, meaning to say you adopt the beliefs of other people about you or about other things. Nakukuha mo siya because of these daily interactions, diba? Kaya nga, you could observe your friends, diba? Observe your peer groups, your colleagues, kanino ka madalas sumasama. Kasi somehow, the tendency kasi, there you have similarities in terms of value. Similar attract similar, kumbaga, diba? You are more likely to be attracted or to have relationship with someone you have more similarities. And to some point, you gain that similarity because you adopted their point of view, their beliefs, nakuha mo siya. Kaya, somehow, diba? Kakasama kayo, diba? Kaya nga, the same feather flocks together, kumbaga. Kaya nga, if you're somehow confused of who you are as of now, look at your friends. Diba? Look at the people around you are with every day of your life. Because somehow, it's a reflection of who you are as of this moment. Because somehow, you gain a value, you gain a certain value, a certain attitude from them that is now a part of who you are as of this moment. So, that is self-perception according to other people. Self-knowledge according to or with the use of others. So again, let me sum it up lang. So we were discussing self-knowledge. So to have self-knowledge, you can use introspection by means of self-awareness theory or by self-perception. Observe your own behaviors in certain situation. How is this consistent behavior is? It could definitely say something about what's your feelings or what's your thoughts as of this moment. Like examining your mindset, examining your motivation. And the last one is what? With the use of others. By comparing yourself with others to understand who you are, or by knowing what others view about you. Diba? By observing the people around you in some ways. So that's self-knowledge. The next video that I'm going to post is about the last three, this is just short lang, the last three functions of the self or the social self. Again, it's control, social control, self-control, then you have impression management, and you have self-esteem. So again, if you have questions about the lecture, you can post it on the comment sections so we could have an interaction about this, especially to my class. Please watch the entire entire video for interaction purposes. So that's it. Thank you. God bless everyone. Stay at home. Bye.